we are here for a brief press conference between the mayor of the city of Laredo and the Congressman Henry Cuellar on what it will mean if there is another federal shutdown. I would ask our mayor and Congressman Cuellar to come to the podium so that we can.
Good morning. I oppose federal government shutdown because this causes serious harm and it costs to our most vulnerable residents, to Laredo and local economy. I know that Congressman Cuellar here with us feels the same way, that a shutdown threatens families who depend on federal services, soldiers and veterans who rely on their benefits and their earned benefits, and workers whose livelihoods are put on hold through no fault of their own. In a border community like Laredo, where trade, healthcare, and federal operations are deeply connected, a shutdown would disrupt commerce, slow down border crossings, and creates unnecessary economic uncertainty for small businesses and workers. At a time where families are already facing rising costs and economic pressures, shutting down the government is not leadership. It's a failure to protect the people. Laredo depends on stability, cooperation, and responsible governance. Our community deserves solutions, not these hurtful disruptions. I urge federal leaders to put politics aside, protect essential services, and swiftly to prevent harm to communities like Laredo that feels the impacts first and hardest. Thank you very much.
Mayor, thank you so much. First of all, I certainly agree with the mayor. We should not have a government shutdown. As you know, there are 12 appropriation bills. 6 of them have been passed by Congress, and 6 have been signed by the president. There's still 6 more. That includes housing, education, health care, including the funds that brought in monies for HUD. And as you know, the one dealing with Homeland has brought some members to say we ought to have a government shutdown. In fact, some community members have said you should shut down the government because of Homeland. I disagree with that. And I think the deal that is being looked at right now, and if the Senate does that later today, 5 of the appropriation bills, which includes education, housing, health care, should be passed from the Senate, along with a short CR continued resolution for maybe 2 weeks for the Homeland Security bill. And then if they pass that later on today, there might be a little short, and I emphasize short shutdown, because the deadline is the 30th at midnight at 12:01. But then the Speaker of the House said that there will be no vote till Monday when we go back. So over the weekend, there might be a short shutdown. I'm ready to go back to Washington, but the Speaker said no vote till Monday. And then we will do a vote, and then the 5 bills will pass: healthcare, education, housing, and then Homeland will have a short CR where we can sit down. Now, some folks, as you know, we've talked about Homeland. I sit as the ranking member, the top Democrat on that. Some folks, because of what was happening up there in Minnesota, and again, very unfortunate what happened up there, they wanted to have a shutdown. But some folks have to remember that when we did an agreement on Homeland, I'm one of the 4 corners. You have 4 corners: House Democrat, House Republican, Senate Democrat, Senate Republicans. There was an agreement. And I'll say this, after the agreement, including the Senate Democrat, they basically threw us some of us under the bus. They said, oh, no, we're walking away when they agreed the four corners, and I'm talking without due respect to my Senate Democrats, they agreed to this, but they walked away, and I understand they want more, more rail guards, and we did put some rail guards to it, and I can go in detail. I think the media heard me yesterday about the rail guards, and if we want to do more of that, I'll be happy to sit down and provide the use of force, which is already Homeland has, and of course the training, which you've heard me, where training for ICE officers have gone from 6 months to 42 days if you speak Spanish to 15 days if you have some sort of law enforcement background. That's not enough. And if they were to follow their own use of force policy that is in place, my opinion, I don't think we would have had the 2 shootings if they would have followed their own use of force. So we'll talk about this, and we'll figure Homeland in the next couple of weeks. But I certainly agree with the mayor. We should not have a shutdown. And I'll say why a shutdown would not work for Homeland, because our Republican friends passed the big, beautiful bills where they cut Medicaid, where they cut Medicare, tax cuts for the rich and not for the working class. But in there, they added $75 billion for ICE. So even if you shut down the government and you cut down TSA or FEMA or the rest of it, ICE, because this big, beautiful bill, the $75 billion are outside of appropriations, and that's why I voted no on it. ICE continues with the big, beautiful bill funding, and the people that want to have an effect on ICE, it doesn't affect them because they got $75 billion. So I'm one of those, I do not believe in abolishing ICE. I do not believe in defunding ICE, but I believe in putting real reforms like the way we put it on Homeland and maybe come up with that. But abolishing ICE or defunding ICE is not the correct way of doing it, because we still got to get rid of criminals. We still got to get rid of people that have a risk to the national security interest. And we still have 1.7 million final deportation orders that immigration judges already said people should leave. And that's why we need to make sure that we do the investment in a correct way. So, Mayor, I agree with you. No shutdown. There might be a short one because of the timing of it. The speaker doesn't want us to go back tonight, which I think we should be there. But they said Monday. But over the weekend, there'll be a short one. And then hopefully Monday we'll get this done. So with that, I say thank you, and I certainly agree with the mayor, no shutdown, because it affects the people that we are trying to help, including funding for Lafayette tiny homes. That's done, but it will affect the second phase of it. So Mayor, thank you again, and Melissa, thank you for being here. So I'll take all the easy questions, the mayor will take the hard questions. No, just kidding.
Any questions?
Questions? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Well, Mayor, you go first, or Melissa, y'all first.
I'll say it again in Spanish.
Sorry, I'll say that in Spanish. I apologize.
Me opongo al cierre del gobierno federal debido a un grave daño que causan nuestros residentes más vulnerables y a la economía de Laredo. Sé que el congresista Henry Cuellar comparte esta opinión. Un cierre de gobierno amenaza a las familias que dependen de los servicios federales y a los soldados y veteranos que dependen de los beneficios que se han ganado, y a los trabajadores cuyos medios de vida se afectan y están afectados sin que sean culpa de ellos. En una comunidad fronteriza como Laredo, donde el comercio, la atención médica y las operaciones federales son profundamente interconectadas, un cierre también interrumpe el comercio y disminuye la actividad transfronteriza y crea una incertidumbre económica innecesaria para las pequeñas empresas y los trabajadores. Es un momento en que las familias ya enfrentan un aumento de costos y con las pensiones económicas, cerrar el gobierno no es liderazgo, es un fracaso. Y a la hora de proteger a la gente, Laredo depende de esa estabilidad y la cooperación y una gobernanza responsable. Nuestra comunidad merece soluciones, no estas prejudiciales interrupciones. Insisto a los líderes federales que dejen al lado la política, protejan los servicios esenciales y actuar con rapidez para evitar daños a las comunidades como Laredo, que son las primeras y las más afectadas por estas consecuencias. Gracias.
¿Cuándo sería el cierre de gobierno, alcalde? ¿Cuándo se tiene previsto?
Vamos a ver qué congresista contesta eso.
Okay. Bueno, estoy de acuerdo con el alcalde y Melissa que no queremos ver el cielo. Yo estoy en el comité de asignación donde hacemos este presupuesto de los Estados Unidos. Ya tuvimos el éxito con 6 de las propuestas que ya el Congreso pasó y el presidente ya firmó. Quedan 6 más. 5 de ellos no hay problemas, se incluye la educación, incluye la salud, incluye dinero para viviendas como esto que estamos viendo aquí. Pero el número 6 es la propuesta de la seguridad, el Homeland Security, que yo entiendo. Y hay unas personas que me dicen, oye, congresistas, deben de cerrar el gobierno totalmente por el problema de ICE. Yo entiendo, hay problema con ICE, pero el problema es que los republicanos pusieron 75 billones de dólares en otra propuesta que está fuera del comité de asignación que se dice el Big Beautiful Bill o the Ugly Bill, la propuesta fea, donde recortan Medicaid, donde recortan Medicaid, Medicare, viviendas, comida. Tienen recorte de recursos a los ricos y no a la gente trabajadora. Pero en esto pusieron 75 billones de dólares para ICE. Es que podemos cerrar el gobierno, pero los 75 billones de dólares están ahí para seguir. Es que las personas que dicen cierren el gobierno por ICE, van a tener los 75 billones de dólares. Es que la meta de tener una reforma a ICE no está allí. Y por eso yo apoyo tener unas reformas y ayer hablé de muchas las reformas de ICE, pero para cerrar el gobierno no llegamos a la meta de tener un impacto a ICE por los 75 billones de dólares de ICE, pero vas a tener un impacto a la gente que necesita la educación, las viviendas y la ayuda de salud, que es muy importante.
¿Pero cuándo iniciaría, congresista, este cierre de gobierno?
Hicimos que el 30 de enero a las 12:01 se cierra el gobierno. El Senado debe de tener un voto hoy. Yo estaba listo para regresar. Ayer estuvimos hablando de un regreso, pero el Speaker del House, el señor Johnson, dijo el Congreso o la Casa de Diputados no va a regresar este lunes a Washington. Es que si el Senado tiene tiene el voto con éxito ahora, se regresa a la casa porque vamos a tener unas 2 semanas, parece que van a ser 2 semanas de Homeland Security. Es que necesitamos que votar en eso en la Casa de Diputados. Es que puede haber un cierre de gobierno sobre el fin de semana y el lunes debemos de tener el voto. Es que sabemos que el pasado, cuando hay un cierre del gobierno el fin de semana, el impacto es muy mínimo.
¿Quién lo propone el cierre del gobierno? Última pregunta. ¿Quién lo propone el cierre?
Otras preguntas.
¿Qué más? ¿Hay un plan? Sí,
Bueno, el plan es que la Casa de Diputados debe de estar ahí, pero con todo respeto, el republicano Mike Johnson dice no, lo vamos a esperar. Nosotros hablamos, los demócratas, hace unos días, estamos listos para regresar, pero él dice que no va a haber un voto el lunes y por eso, como dije ahorita, ahora el Senado va a votar, pero necesita otro voto de la Casa de Diputados. No vamos a estar allí porque estamos en los estados y el fin de semana por unos 2 días va a haber, 2, 3 días va a haber un cierre de gobierno mínimo, mínimo y el lunes debemos de tener un voto.
¿Cuál es el sentir de la gente allá en Washington referente a esta situación?
Bueno, hay unos congresistas, senadores, que quieren ver un cierre del gobierno por el problema de ICE. Yo no estoy de acuerdo. Como dije ahorita, hubo un arreglo y hay 4 partes, 2 demócratas, senador, Casa de Diputados, 2 congresistas, senadores republicanos, que llegamos a un arreglo. Los senadores demócratas llegamos a un arreglo, pero hubo un cambio y ellos cambiaron de mente. Pero yo quiero ver un arreglo y porque el cierre del gobierno no ayuda.
Estamos transmitiendo en vivo. ¿Qué le dice a la gente? ¿Qué le dice a la gente?
La última. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
What type of bipartisan budget agreements are you supporting to avoid a shutdown and in relation to SNAP, Medicaid, healthcare? Speak about it.
Yeah, I think the SNAP, healthcare, and all that, that's part of the 5 bills. It includes HUD and other education, other areas. That area should be fine. It's part of the 5 bills. The 6th bill, there will be a continuing resolution if everything goes to plan for about 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks, it could give us an idea as to how we can work this out on Homeland. So if everything goes fine, we'll pass 5 bills, hopefully send it today, on Monday, short little brief shutdown. And then on Monday, the House will pass it. President will probably sign it that same night. And then we'll have 2 weeks to work on ICE. I want to see some real reforms. And I had some other reforms. For example, use of force, training that I've talked about. Maybe some other things. I know the senators are talking about a code of conduct for ICE. I have no idea what that means. I think the use of force addresses that issue. They talk about masks. I agree with them that they should not be wearing masks unless if it's undercover situation or some other situation. It doesn't address the shooting. So the senators are talking about certain things that I agree with them, but I'm more interested in is how do we prevent or how do we protect human life? How do we protect the community where ISIS is at? And I think the use of force and training, maybe some of the things will probably be more effective. And I agree with them on the use of masks and other things. And those are the things that we certainly want to sit down with.
Thank you, everyone. That's the end of the press conference. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to do it.